Hi everybody, it's Mike Pelusey here again. Getting back to you about exploring your neighbourhood with your camera. This is the last one of the series, and it's been great doing this, great fun, and I hope you're getting something out of it. Now we're going to look at nature in our neighbourhood, in our city area, or the parks, or the coast, anything around our area you've got nature. It's amazing, even in built-up areas, how much nature is around. So again, concentrate on that. It's my favourite, I'd say my favourite photographic subject. And the fun part of this is that trying to find nature is in itself a very good thing to do. It's very good for stress release in COVID-19 times. And also it can be very creative and fun and challenging at the same time. So let's talk about nature. You already know me pretty well by now. This is the fourth one, but I'm a photographer and writer, and I run workshops and also do lots of books over the years with my wife, Jane. Enough of that. Let's get down into it, because as I said before, we've only got 15 minutes. Now, travel mindset at home. Travel mindset is something we came up with about how we are when we are traveling somewhere, whether it be overseas, interstate, or even away from your hometown in your state. It's about the fact that when we are traveling, we tend to be a different person. We have this mindset of exploration, of curiosity, of trying new things, looking at things with new eyes. Just taking risk even that you normally would not do at home. Normally at home you'd be in home mode, work, playing with the kids, that kind of thing. So the things that take up a lot of time are very rewarding, but are different to when you're traveling. It's about trying to bring that travel mindset back home into your own backyard and exploring your own backyard. It's particularly relevant now in COVID times, but it can be relevant anytime. This travel mindset, or this feeling of exploration, can be very rewarding, and certainly is a great way of looking at your photography. Now, first of all, we're just going to talk about the familiar places, the places you know well, the local parks, the coast, the streets around where you live. Any of those sort of places, even nearby national parks, now that we are opening up a bit in COVID-19 times, you can go a bit further afield now. So going for walks is a really good thing to do right now. Great time of the year to do it too, beautiful weather. So getting out there and exploring the parks, national parks nearby, that kind of thing is really adds to your photographic creativeness and also your well-being. So local parks like this one, I think it's probably around, not sure where that is, might be in Hillary's, but anyway, that's academic, you know, it's neither here or there. We're just going to talk about what's going on. When you're exploring areas which are familiar to you, you've got to look at, start looking a little bit further afield in your vision. In this case, look at this couple here taking photographs of something which normally you just walk across, walk over, and not even think of it. I think she's photographing a leaf. Before you do that, you've got to be in a relaxed state, because I feel that photography brings you into the moment, and once you're in the moment, all your stresses basically flow away and you become much more relaxed. So the idea is to get into relaxed mode pretty quick before you start taking photographs, and then really get into it. Flight mode on your phone is very important. You don't want your phone ringing and pinging all the time. That's the opposite to being in the moment and being able to relax. So only use your phone as a camera, not for anything else. Slow down and breathe. Like in nature, when you're in nature, you probably tend to do that anyway, but be sure in these uncertain times that your stress levels are sort of having a big effect on your well-being. So breathing deep, taking deep breaths when you get out there and slowing down relaxes yourself, and you can not only create better photography, but you feel a lot better about what's going on. And for that time you're out there, you're in another world. You're not in that world of stress over COVID and all that kind of thing that's happening to us right now in these strange times. And one of the things that comes about for being out in nature and finding things, natural things, is that it awakens the senses. You actually automatically, your senses automatically awaken when you are out there. But what I mean by that is that in a normal city or home life or work life, you are rush in tunnel vision, and your senses are deadened. All that kind of that awareness is not there. You're in work mode, in tunnel vision mode. Awaken your senses is about not just your visual sense, which is key to photography, but all your other senses. When you're out in a park or walking on a trail, smell the roses. Basically, you get what are you smelling as you're walking around or you're taking photographs? What are you hearing? The birds, the insects chirping, all sorts of things happening around you, the wind rustling through trees and leaves, that kind of thing. That's the sort of thing that you are becoming aware of, and that's all part of what I'm talking about. Awakening the senses is so important. Be super observant. Nature's one of those funny things that if you go out there and you're not being really looking for nature in itself, you're out there just in virtually in tunnel vision, and your head's spinning from all stuff's going on, you won't see a lot of things. So really start looking, become what I call an expanded awareness, see what's around you, and then nature will start to appear. Even sitting somewhere and waiting for nature to come to you is a good way of doing it, like a park bench. You start noticing things. So being super observant is a key to all this. And that's the places you're familiar with. So all these familiar places can be seen with new eyes, and therefore look quite different. If you start taking photographs of stuff around the place, you will find basically that you might as well be in a new place. You start seeing things differently. But even better is discover new places. Get out there, be a bit adventurous. Go on Google Maps, have a look at what's around, the green spots, the blue spots. Go to these places you haven't been to before. And I bet you'll find things you never believed possible. And I bet you'll see animals or birds or insects that you didn't think lived in especially built up areas. So that is a real key. It's basically discovering new places, like traveling overseas, for example, in a totally new place. You don't know anything about it. You can like an African safari, taking photographs of animals in African safari, or have your own safari in your own backyard and see what you can find. It's a really exhilarating thing to do, even when you're not locked down by COVID. So blue bits and green bits. That's what you're looking for to find new places. You can guarantee there'll be nature in abundance in these places. Or Trails WA website is a great resource too. You can find trails in your local area. Just look at trails near me, and that way you'll find great new places to discover nature in all its glory, really. And exploring new places, you will amazing what you'll find just in local areas, like this place in this little lake in a park off the main road, so it's not easily found, except locals know about it. Turned out to be a great spot to take some photographs late afternoon. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for these little places when nature abounds. But you don't have to go outside. You do have to go outside, but you don't have to actually go too far afield. If you've got a garden, explore your garden with new eyes. Look up close, get in close, and photograph flowers, anything you like in your garden, and you'll be amazed at what sort of photography you'll achieve by doing that. especially using getting in close. It's all about getting in close into your garden. So that's where the magic lies. Macro. If your camera's got, if you've got a macro setting in your camera or even the phones, you can get in very close. Get in close and get detail and textures and all sorts of patterns you might find in your own backyard. It's amazing what you can find, especially after a shower of rain in this case, where there's water droplets everywhere. It's just magical. Be patient, especially with butterflies. Nature is a thing that demands you to be patient. You can't rush nature. So when you're stalking a butterfly, take your time, slow, like in stealth mode. It's all part of the fun, sneaking up on these things and trying to get a shot. It's almost like a hunting instinct coming out, except you're using a camera. Be sneaky, as I was saying. Dragonflies are particularly flighty, and they've got great eyesight, so they're hard to photograph. Getting up early in the morning, on a cool morning, sometimes you'll find a dragonfly sitting on a twig, and they are reluctant to move. They haven't warmed up yet. Great time to take photographs of dragonflies. So that's all part of the fun and getting to know how nature works. That's very interesting stuff. Bugs and flowers. Flowers are beautiful to photograph, easy to photograph because they don't move much. You get a bug in the flower shot, and that's what I call value adding. It's a bonus. In this case, it's a jewel beetle. Birds, that's patience and luck. You need both in abundance. You can sit around for ages with your camera and wait in a certain spot where, you know, in this case, a honey eater will come to your grevillea in your backyard and you know it's going to be there pretty regularly. You can wait for it. That's your patience. Or you have your camera with you and suddenly it's in front of you and you have a bit of luck here and then take a photograph. So this was a combination of both in this photograph. And a couple of things before you finish. When you close up photography, using close-up photography, you get what's called shallow depth of field. Basically, you have not got much focus range. So when you're using a macro lens or a telephoto lens, the idea is to focus on the subject. In this case, it's lizard's eyes. The eyes are everything. So you photograph the eye, and therefore that's in sharp focus. But the shallow depth of field means that everything else is out of focus, which can be a really useful technique, especially when photographing flowers. But there's other handicaps of that. It's quite a difficult thing to do, and I'll show you why. You've got to focus very carefully. Then that's part of the challenge of close-up photography, anything in nature. You've got to take your time and you've got to really focus carefully and keep your camera really steady, because sometimes you have to use a fairly slow shutter speed. Flowers and the wind are a big factor. As I was saying, the shallow depth of field, you've got that much focus range. So you're really looking at a very small margin of error. It can blow in and out of focus, a flower, because of the wind, and therefore you take lots of photographs and you try to judge it when the wind drops and the flowers are as stationary as you can and take a photo. It's all part of the fun. Now, I think that'll be it for now. Nature is a great subject to chase after, and it's a great way of releasing stress at the same time. And it's such a challenging area of photography. It can be a lot of fun. It can be a bit frustrating, but that's part of the game, and that's part of the fun. That's the last of our series for the moment, and I hope everybody's got something out of this. Just a little bit of something to do in these COVID-19 times. And as you can see, you don't have to go very far to travel. You can just travel in your own backyard.